Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Granite. So, today we are going to be looking at another one of our test taking intangibles exercises. It's called Relax. It's one of my personal favorites because who. Who doesn't like an exercise that's all about relaxing, right? That's obviously pretty good. Um, if you haven't checked out Breathe yet, I would check that out first. That is our first test taking intangible exercise in the series. This is our second. So I would check out Breathe first, get familiar with what's going on there, and then you can just come back here and we will talk about Relax in this video, how it works. And in our next video, I'm going to guide you guys through Relax so you can actually see how it works and how to do it on your own. But before we get to that, let's talk a little bit about why this exercise is useful, why it makes sense. Obviously, feeling relaxed is nice, right? That's why it's one of my personal favorite exercises. But let's talk about why that's useful in the context of school or, interviews or anything like that. So we've probably all had the experience, I know I have, of going into a big exam, maybe, or having a big paper due, or going into some sort of interview and feeling nervous, right? We've all felt that. We felt a little stressed, a little nervous. And that sensation, right? That feeling of nervousness can appear in all sorts of different ways. For some people, that feeling is sort of here, in our shoulders. We feel like a little bit of tension in the shoulders and the neck. It's kind of unpleasant. Sometimes people get like stress headaches. The little bit of tension in the headache or in the head kind of causes a little bit of a headache. Sometimes maybe a little bit of butterflies in your stomach, right? Like some nausea sort of feeling, something like that. Or maybe a little bit of numbness or kind of tingling in the hands and face as our, fight or flight response kicks in, that kind of stuff. Maybe even just a general sort of feeling of jumpiness, like we just kind of don't feel like we can sort of sit down. We feel just a little on edge, a little jumpy. And these are all super normal responses to stress and not something that we need to be worried about or angry about or anything like that. Everybody experiences this. It's super normal, not a big deal. However, it can be a little unpleasant, right? And it would be cool, of course, if we had some tools that we could use to maybe reduce some of these unpleasant feelings just a little bit so that we can go into a test or go into an interview or, knock out that paper demonstrating everything we know without this kind of, frustrating feeling of tension, headaches, nausea, all that kind of unpleasant stuff. And that is where exercises like Relax come in. And we've got quite a few exercises here at Granite that are in this theme, right? But Relax is going to be our first one. This is our first exercise in this theme, and we'll just keep watching and we'll talk about more. But what Relax is, the sort of scientific name behind Relax, is a progressive muscle relaxation. So a progressive muscle relaxation, sometimes abbreviated as PMR for short. And this is a very well-researched technique. We've got tons and tons of scientists, psychologists, neuroscientists doing all sorts of research on this and how it's very helpful for relaxation, for helping a ton of different people in different contexts relax. So if you're interested in some of those studies, as always, I'm going to link them below the video so you can go check them out, read more about them. But for now, let me give you a quick idea of a little bit of the science behind this, how it works. And then you can read in more detail, or if you're not as into the science, totally fine too. Just I'll give you a quick overview and then head on to the next video and start practicing it and, feeling relaxed, right? So basically, how this works is a few things. We're going to go through different muscle groups, specifically muscle groups that tend to hold a lot of tension, and we're going to tense them up for a second. We're going to feel that tension. We're going to notice what that tension feels like, and then we are going to relax them. Now, this movement from tension to relaxation does a few very helpful things. One, it promotes blood flow in these muscle groups. And that increase in blood flow moves out a lot of the stress hormones, things like cortisol, that make us feel on edge. So that's obviously good, right? Kind of just, increased circulation, reducing that cortisol, all really good stuff. But what it also does is it shows our muscles, okay, here's what it feels like to be tense, and here's what it feels like to be relaxed. And then as your muscles go from tense to relaxed, your brain notices that, right? Your brain notices that movement from tension to relaxation. And then your brain basically says, oh, well, if these muscles are getting relaxed, I guess I can calm down too. And that breaks this very frustrating feedback loop, right? Where we feel tension in our shoulders, we think about the tension in our shoulders, we get frustrated by the tension in our shoulders, or not necessarily shoulders, right? It could be our head or nausea or whatever, but just getting very involved in thinking about physical sensations, causing them to get even more intense. And exercises like relax will break that as we're able to kind of deliberately get in, pay attention. Okay, here is relaxed, here is stressed. I know I've got these two states, it's fine. And it gives your mind a little bit of confidence knowing, okay, I've got some control over this. It's all good. So that is basically how relax works. In our next video, though, I'm going to do the full guided exercise with you. I'm going to walk you through step by step. In that next video, you can just use and watch it, as many times as you want. Anytime you want to do this exercise and you want somebody to lead you through it and give you a little step by step on how it works, that's exactly what that video will be for. As always, if you have any questions, just leave them below. I'm always very excited to see all the super interesting questions people come up with for these exercises and just things they want to know more about. That's obviously helpful. I can answer your question, but I can answer the same question you might have had that a ton of other people had. So leave those below, and I will see all of you in the next video where we go through the full relax exercise. See you then. Bye.